Oh my! Ay, whoops! There we go. You see my blanket on my chair. You know what's funny? You would think that the fatter you get, the least padding or less padding you would need. That's never the case. I think what it is, when you're fat, you smash the padding or the support that the chair or couch or whatever offers, and you need even more.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
We want to thank RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring this video.
We've been with Brooklyn Bedding for going on 3 years now. We love their mattress. That's the only reason you guys see these commercials. If we didn't like it, we wouldn't be doing this. Some of the stuff that RV Mattress offers is a factory direct quality and price because they can control everything about the manufacturing. This isn't just some third person that's putting this stuff together or having somebody put it together. They're doing it themselves. You get a 120-night sleep trial. That's 4 months. If you like it and you're going to keep it, 10-year warranty. Of course, free shipping. And as far as the products themselves, they're always innovating. This one here used to be the biggest mattress they offered. It wasn't for us, but they've now come out with another one, the Titan. Now this Titan, a whole bunch of engineering's gone into it for big, tall, heavy people. So if you're one of those, look into it. Also for the kiddies or for futons, they have these smaller toppers that you can buy so that you don't have to purchase an entire mattress to make your kids comfortable. Now, in our case, our first mattress wasn't quite to our liking. And again, we used that sleep trial, had another mattress that was delivered to us. Again, coming from Arizona, that direct factory, that makes it a lot easier to get stuff taken care of relatively quick. And this one here worked perfect. We enjoyed it while it was in the RV. We duplicated it while we got into a home. And I want you guys to know, we have a discount code that is active. Go to the links in the description, click the link, and use the code Daydream, and you'll get 25% off your mattress. So make sure you use the code Daydream. There's always something extra there. So RV Mattress, if you guys are shopping, again, big, heavy, tall, maybe you're just looking for toppers, they've got it all. Check them out. Now, back to the video. So, I left you with a little bit of a cliffhanger there. Not so much cliffhanger. We'll just call it a cliffhanger. And it has to do with the our Taurus wagon. Yeah, the wagon, we knew it needed some stuff. It had been sitting for a long time. The tires, there was some weather checking on them. And two of them didn't have any tread really to speak of. They were down to their wear bars. And other than that, we you know, with the rust that we saw, we knew that there'd be other things. Now we found additional rust that's underneath the floor pan of the passenger side that actually went through the floor pan and the floorboard. So it's a little bit, I have to patch that, not a big deal. I've replaced entire floor pans before inside cars. I mean, to where you can actually just see nothing but road at all. You know, when you pull the carpet out, it's all road. And I've reformed and made my own floor pans and put them in, and they were perfect. I'm not needing to do anything that extensive. I just need to put a small patch in the one spot, and that's expected for this area. Everything else underneath that car looks great. It's just that little area held water. The floor pan and the floorboard where they met, it just held water and it rusted out there. We knew other stuff was going to be needed. When we took it for a test drive, we shut the car off at one point, turned it back on, and when we did, the starter made kind of a strange noise, and we thought, all right, maybe it might be, be something in the future we got to be concerned with. After we replaced the headlights in the driveway, we had the lights on for quite some time, adjusting them and stuff, and we went to start the car and it didn't want to start. So I put my booster pack on it, started the car, and told Heidi, said, yep, we need a battery. She went up to her work, got a battery, came back, and I installed the battery on the car, and it started, and it was okay. What you saw on the video was she had come back from running errands. and she parked it out on the street because something we had going on in the driveway. I don't remember what it was, but she didn't, want to block the driveway. And when I went out to start, it just click. So I moved the engine by hand, and I heard the starter gear was stuck, and I did it a couple times. And here, a lot of times when that happens, it's just, in this case, since we had a new battery, I knew it was a starter motor. So we already had planned for a lot of work to be done on the vehicle. Although that car, like I said, is a great car, we knew to make it our car safe and do the things we wanted to. We wanted a car we could hop in and drive to Florida. I mean, that's basically it. That's what cars should do. However, there's a lot of people that don't do that. I have no problem with it, but our son can hop in his little car and he can drive to Florida. My truck, even though it didn't have air conditioning, could easily drive to Florida and back. I mean, I'm not talking about one way or nothing. They're highway vehicles. They're ready to go. They got everything done they need. All the fluids, the flushes, the change, all that stuff. So when we got the Taurus, we took it for a drive, and we knew it was going to be fine for a while. We didn't know how long, but a while, especially with Heidi driving it such a short distance. And we figured over the next 3 months, we would just, do little things here and there. And we have a really good mechanic on hand, and that makes it a lot easier for me because, I'll tell you what, it's getting a lot tougher the older I get to be doing a lot of this stuff. And I really miss it. I miss that stuff. Plus the fact that I don't have all the same tools that I did before, that makes it really difficult. So, I'm limited by what I can do, and I don't want to start buying all those tools again because, honestly, I don't think even if I did have all those tools, I would be working on stuff enough to justify having all those tools. The mechanic that we have, we contacted him, and I said, hey, the starter went out, or Heidi told him the starter went out. We're going to bring the car, tow it out to your shop. Is that okay? And he goes, yep, absolutely. My schedule's all cleared out, so great. And you just leave it here. So that's what you saw. Tow truck pulled it out there, and I'll talk about it later. I've got it on the list here. We're going to talk about the Taurus whenever the next little insert of this happens. Also, Bob from Making Stuff. Bob, I hope you're doing good. He suggested, of course, that we should fix the back steps. He's not the only one, or the back sidewalk between the steps and the driveway. Yeah, we've had a few people that have mentioned that. The same is true with the steps out front from here to the sidewalk. This is the front of our house that I'm pointing to. I'm looking right outside at the front steps. If I just overtop our monitor, my computer monitor's right here. You guys can't see it, but it's right here. Yeah, that section also needs redone. But the section in the back, the only reason we've held off is because we were actually planning to get a deck put on back there and to cover a lot of that because we have to replace the steps. And there's a little wall that needs to be kind of knocked down. And now I've got a water faucet that I didn't think that worked, but it works. So we got to replumb that up through the deck that we build. So we have a water faucet, or plumb it out to a certain point to where we still have access to the water faucet. So that's why we haven't done it, but we may. So the other thing is, we were just talking about it, is the driveway. Heidi and I was talking about the driveway and making it bigger. We almost got ourselves a camper. You guys that have been with us for a long time, you would have loved it. I don't know if we would have loved it. Heidi and I, we don't want to rehash what we've already done. But this was our original camper that we started our channel with was a 1992 Terry Resort 24M. Awesome layout. Old, not missing some features like enclosed heated tanks, enclosed underbelly. I mean, it's all exposed under there. It sits kind of low. I wish it set up a little higher. I could do something about that. I could lift it up. But there's a lot of things that camper, we loved it. And it started off our channel. We did a complete remodel of it. So you guys that have maybe not seen that, go back and check out that video. I think it says something about we rebuilt this old RV or something like that. Very popular video. We've had a lot of views on that. Well, 3 miles down the road, for $3,000, a 1994 Terry Resort 24M went up for sale. And I told Heidi, I said, contact this guy. And she's like, and I could kind of sense and Heidi's right so many times. We've been together way too long to realize that neither one of us are right all the time. And the way she said that, I thought, yeah, I don't know either, but contact him and see, and the guy, and we were willing to go that night, look at it and have cash in hand. And the guy said, yeah, you can come and check it out tomorrow morning between 8 and 10. Well, Heidi had to be at work at like 1 that day, and it just, and the more we thought about it, it's like, yeah, we probably, maybe we don't want to get into it, because it did need some work. Nothing major, nothing like the old one where we put on a whole new roof. Well, I don't know, we could have got out there and it could have needed a new roof. But anyways, we know that we need to do something different with the driveway in case we do get an RV. And Heidi says, we don't even have a truck to pull that RV. That was the other thing. And I said, that's okay. I could borrow our son-in-law's Explorer. I said, it'll tow it. It's only, that trailer's only 4,300 pounds empty. So even fully loaded, it's only 6,000 pounds. It'd be a great half-ton camper. And I'll be honest, if I could find one that needs no work at all, like ours, after we did all that work on it, it needed nothing. And I told the guy that bought it, I said, I know that you have some hesitation about, an older RV and that, and he had never towed an RV before. I said, but, I'll give you my, for additional, I think, $200. I said, I'll sell you my weight distribution setup, my old weight distribution setup. I will install it on your truck, and I will set it up perfectly for this trailer. And I also told him that you don't have to worry about this trailer going anywhere in the country. It is ready to be lived in. It has everything it needs. Everything is updated. It's ready to go. I'm looking for that one. I'm looking for that RV. And I don't know if we're going to find it. Could be. It just depends how much money we pay. And boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys have noticed looking at RVs, if you guys have been shopping for RVs, man, is the word delamination just constant on so many of these models. There was a whole slew of years there that delamination was a big deal. I don't like that because you can't really fix delamination. I mean, you can, but it's a major pain in the butt. You have to basically get behind the fiberglass outer shell and somehow inject glue in between it and the luan that it's supposed to be attached to. Here's the thing. The reason that it's not attached is because water intrusion happened, and that luan is probably deteriorated in there. And that's just bad news all the way around. So on some of the older ones, it's not a bad idea to look for the aluminum sided ones, the ones that are 10 sided, whatever you want to call them, 10, T-I-N, 10 sided. It's okay. Because even though the substrate behind it might have, lost its integrity in a couple places, that metal doesn't necessarily need to be adhered in every single point all along that. So you could have some voids and it's not a big deal. Of course, you got to watch though, because those metal ones hide some serious, structure issues too if you don't pay attention. We've been looking, and I don't know if we should be at this point in time, unless, well, let's be honest, I'm going to continue to look. If something come up like that one again, and the guy just said, yeah, come down right away, you're the first person that called us or something, that might be another deal. You know, it's a hard thing to mess with. But I don't even have a truck, so maybe we have to get a motorhome. I don't know if I want to jump into that. Parts of me do, just because of the novelty of it all. But there's a lot of me that says that's not a good idea, because then we got to tow something behind it, or Heidi's got to drive something behind us. You know, when we're going somewhere. I don't know if I want to get into all that. One of the things that I've been really happy with over the years is our phones and us doing work with video with our phones. Oh, dude, you guys have no idea. Let me just try to cover this real quick. This is our Galaxy S9, and I love or Samsung S9, sorry. I don't know if it's a Samsung Galaxy, it's just a Samsung S9. We bought an external case for it, and I did a video on this a long time ago. Most of you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure, because it was just a little blip. But we bought this really nice, I mean, this is a very high dollar, nice optic unit that has a special case for it that allows this to become a wide angle. Now, we have done lots of our live chats. Those 8-hour and 9-hour live chats that we did was with this right here. And we've been really happy with it. I took it off of our phone plan finally, probably about a year or so ago, just because, you know, we weren't using it like we were on the road. Plus, we would use it in hotels as a camera, especially with this wide-angle lens. Sometimes we would use this, or a lot of times we'd use this as security inside the truck. So whenever we stopped for the night at Walmart, remember in our RV, we had our EasyCom Wi-Fi. If you guys haven't looked at that video, go check out EasyCom. Those guys are nailing it. People are learning, and they're buying them because they are one of the best prices out there for a quad band unit. I don't want this to become a commercial. But I'm telling you, if you want internet and you want to be able to travel, get that. But we had that, and we would be able to connect this phone to it, or we would use our T-Mobile plan when we still had this connected to our T-Mobile, and we would be able to view and keep an eye on our truck while we were sleeping in the RV, with a generator running in the back and the air conditioner running inside the RV, which was kind of noisy, and we wouldn't necessarily hear somebody dorking around with our truck. But this would always help us keep an eye on it. And when we go on little trips and that, without the RV, we would put this up in the truck for security. Or we'd bring it in the hotel and we'd set it up in the hotel room while we went out and did whatever it was. So real happy with this phone. And we upgraded over the years, over and over again. We started with Galaxy I keep on saying Galaxy. A Samsung S7 Edge, then the S8, and then this was just called the S9 Plus, whatever that is. And then we got into a Note 8, a Note 10, a Note 12, and then we got a whatever this is, but this is a 22 Ultra 5G, and we were looking at the 23 Ultras, and I don't know. But the thing is the best camera to have is the one you have on you. Right now I'm doing an Insta-Go, or Insta360 Go 3. I'm filming with that. Here's the original Insta-Go, or I'm sorry, maybe this is the Insta-Go 2. I filmed with this before. Battery life is a concern there. Of course, I have a Sony Action Cam, die-hard Sony Action Cam. The first digital stabilization, God, it's easy for me to say, and optical stabilization phone combined, or camera combined. Here's my other one. It's charging up right now. What else do we have? Here is another Sony Action Cam. This was the AS200. I also had the AS100. I also had the AS20. I also had the AS50. This one's really unique because you can make it a camcorder. Isn't that kind of cool? It's a little camcorder. I love that. All this stuff was used for shooting video. I also have, one of my diehards. I love this one. It has a projector on it. Not that I really need to use that, but it is a real rare one. It's a HDR PJ430V. This has some incredible zoom in capabilities, and it does not shoot in 4K. This was before 4K was really popular, but it has really nice 5.1 surround. Again, it has a projector on it, and the battery life is really good. It's very stable. It's great. It's a great little camcorder. Love it. We used it a lot. And I also have one more. Let's see here if I can get it out real quick. And this is the one that I do all of our 360 reviews on, or 360, whatever. Half the people hate them, half the people like them. This is the candy bar. This is a Instago 1X, and it shoots 360. It's got 2 lenses on it, and it shoots everything around me. I just hold this up in the air on the stick that it comes with. It makes the stick invisible, and it films everything around me, up and down, all around, and then I can go back later and capture what I want or show what I want. So that's just a taste. I'm sure I have some another camera or two that I'm missing out on here that I'm forgetting to tell you about. But the thing that I find is we run into situations where I'm not always dragging any of these cameras around, or all the cameras around. And I'm going to say right now, this is the one I'm almost always carrying. When you guys are running into us at the shows and that, I'm always running around with this thing. This is definitely the most portable and easiest to shoot with. They don't make this anymore. That's why I have 2 of them, because this one, the viewer, this is a screen, started acting up, and the door on the back here, the hinge has come apart to the point where when I take the cover off, I got to keep track of it. It don't, like this one, the hinge is still on there. But we love these cameras. They have done so well for me for so many years. But it doesn't make a difference if I'm not carrying it. Whenever we run into a situation, I want to film something. So, we use this. The best thing about these phones is the cameras have become so advanced that they are better than a lot of these cameras that I just talked to you about and showed you. And the battery's pretty good on this. And I'm always carrying my phone. So that's why we went with something that has so many cameras. We love the zoom on this. It's like 100 times zoom. The thing that we hate about it, though, is when we're filming ourselves, which this doesn't happen a lot. I have a poor camera on here. They don't put the best cameras as the selfie cameras. They put, on this one is a pretty good one. It's a 20 megapixel, but it's not wide. It's not a wide angle. So even though I'm at the same distance, I can't even see, as I hold it right next to the camera that we're shooting with and you're hearing me on, that white shelf right here, that white shelf, I can't see that. I can barely see this camera mount tripod there. And as far as the other side, I don't see nothing past this point right here. From this point over, I don't see any of that stuff. So all this you don't see, and it's of course up and down the same thing. So as you can imagine, if you're doing a selfie and you're walking with this, it's kind of tough. So you're going to see me try out. I don't know if it's going to work because this phone is so great. It's got a pin in it and all that stuff, and I use it for putting stuff on Facebook Marketplace or circling, copying text and that. I'm going to lose the pen when I go with my next phone. We're going to have the Flip 6. I'm going to have that come here shortly. So I don't expect you to hear this, but a lot of people have asked us about noise. Right now it's raining outside pretty good, which I'll show you. But before we do that, we're going to go up here. There's a couple fans running. And I'm going to try to go into a room that has access to the roof. So we're in one of the closets that right above this drywall, this thick old drywall, is the roof. We know talking to the guys that did our roof, our metal roof, that there's no insulation between this and the rafters. I could show you that to you in the other room, but I'm not climbing through my son's room and going into that closet because our upstairs, you can kind of see the setup here, right? So there's a little bit of a peak above here, and this is kind of warm to the touch, even though the sun has hardly been out today. And people have asked us about the rain and what it sounds like on a metal roof. Even coming in waves, it's not that, you can't hear it. I have none of the RVs, absolutely none of the RVs, would this compare to at all. I mean, that's a whole different thing. So metal roofs, don't worry about the noise when it rains. So I'll show you, even though it's calmed down right now. It comes in waves. Like, it'll start pouring really hard and then it'll slow down. This is one of the things that I wanted to be able to do whenever I decided that we were going to go to, that I was going to go to a different phone. Heidi still has, a regular phone. We usually upgrade every few years just because of usually technology, but more importantly, cameras, for us. So what I'm doing here is, I don't know if you can see this. I'm actually peeling, this is the phone that I'll be trading in. This is an S22 Ultra 5G. Great phone, spectacular phone, really good cameras. In some ways, the one camera lens, which it's got 3 here. Of course, it's got one on this side, but it's got 3 over here. The one on this side, the front-facing one, is 20 megapixel. If you went out and got a new S24, I think the megapixel on it's only 12. So actually, the front-facing camera, I guess you could call it, is really good on this. It's just not wide. That's why. Look how wide this shot is from the Flip 6. Anyways, also compared to the S24, this one, one of these lenses zooms in like 100 times digitally, but it has a pretty good zoom built into it. By the way, if you guys ever watching me and you see me wearing these glasses instead of these glasses, it means I'm usually working on the computer. These have my bifocal on this has a built-in, I told the eye doctor that I sit in front of the computer a lot, and he did something to make it to where there's a real good distance for computers. Okay, getting back to what I was showing you guys here, or trying to tell you about. I never even peeled off my old phone. I just put it in the case. That protective layer that's on the side. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. So these sides have always been protected by a thin layer of plastic. Look at that. Isn't that funny? So somebody in the trade-in department is going to have themselves a phone that's got a really good side to it. Now, all of our phones, we've never had any issues. Personally, I accidentally dropped one of my phones when we were in Vero Beach, a Note 10, I think it is, or Note 20. Maybe it was a Note 20. And I only had it for like, I don't know, maybe a year at the most. So I had to get a new rear glass cover installed. Not the screen, but the glass. It was a little bit different than what normally goes on, and that is I've never scratched my phones. I've never I've dropped them, but I've always had cases on them. Look at that. And again, the whole reason that I'm switching phones is this phone by far is better to browse on. It has a stylus in it, which is very nice. Allows you to do gestures. Like I could be recording video and I could be, I could do this, and I mean, it means something, and I could push buttons and take pictures on the stylus. I use the stylus a lot, which I'm going to miss that. But again, for you guys, it's all about capturing video when possible. That's what this phone does. It's a little bit easier. I mean, I just have this set up. I can't do that with this one and see what I'm doing. Like, I mean, I can see like I'm pointing to the third file down, on the camera. I can see that. With this one, if I want to see what I'm doing, I can't. I mean, I can't unless it's on the front-facing camera. The problem with the front-facing camera is it's a selfie cam. It's a selfie lens, so it's meant to be up close and not real wide angle, and that's not a good look for what we're trying to do. People have different thoughts about that. I remember when I first started. I mean, this is our go-to camera. And I mentioned this before, and then we screwed around with this camera. It's really good because this one you can see what you're doing by flipping up the screen. And anyways, getting back to the whole idea of carrying this stuff around versus having the phone with me all the time. But the wide angle lens of this one and of this one and of this one and of this one and of this one, believe it or not, that's a little camera in there. Check that out, huh? This is a fun camera to fool around. It's got a little tripod on it. Look at that. But yeah, it comes out obviously, and there's the actual camera. Isn't that wild? Anyways, having the wide angle of those lenses, I know people used to have a problem with initially. They're like, I can't, it makes me sick, whatever. It's immersive. It's just immersive. It lets you see so much more than if I was to have it as, one of those selfie style cams. Like right now, I'm wide angle. I'm not, up and down, first of all. And second of all, I mean, you can see there's light coming through here. You can see the monitors on a standby. I'm going through a process here of doing this return. But yeah, anyways, I'm talking too much. So this is what I was just talking about on that other video, and you can see how it kind of works here. And it's something that I'm still experimenting with. So you guys have to give me some feedback and be gentle, because I don't know all the best settings for you quite yet. I've experimented with it, but I don't know for sure. The whole idea is that whenever I do some sort of a selfie, it's a little bit easier for me to do, as I can do this now and just hold the phone, or I could actually set it up if I wanted to this way. We can do it this way. And then I have to change the profile. So let's do this. We want to do this. And we want to do this. So now you can see this is kind of the setup that I was just showing you earlier. So again, I can film, and have basically a tripod built in. The other thing this does is really cool. Let me go ahead and show you it a different way. Let's do this. That puts it back here. Let me go ahead and open up the screen. Let's double click for the camera and look at this. Let me hold this up a little bit. Check this out. It's now a camcorder. You hold it just like you would a camcorder, and you shoot video that way. Isn't that weird? Of course, I don't have to. I mean, I can do the regular, phone setup. But this is perfect for what I need to do as far as wide angle, and the lenses are very good on this, so I just wanted to show you that. As you can see, I'm coming outside for most likely car work, but I want to talk about the car. We're going to have to flip you around here in a second, and I didn't know Heidi backed the car in. I guess I did. She said, it's funny because I've been driving that Kia so long, I didn't realize how long the wagon was, or what a longer vehicle was like backing in. And she said her words, there's a lot more ass back there. She said once I got to the normal parking spot, I looked back and she says, boy, I was right on the car garage, you know, on the door. So it's a beautiful day. Let me try to catch you up with some of the stuff. Let's just be real quick about it. One day we had a deer come through here. I don't know, we got to get that fence fixed because we still have raccoons. So I'm bound and determined to get you guys a good shot with this camera using my phone here. And that was something that I was lacking. And you're going to see that things are going to change on here as far as the lighting. And I'm just going to let the phone do what it wants to do. I don't like that I'm currently shooting in 30 frames per second, but I don't really have much choice. And I want to see as far as stabilization what this looks like for you guys, because I don't know how many times I've filmed over the last few days, but everything looks really bouncy. It was just all over the place. So I want to cover some of that same information that I was covering on the on that video on this video. So Heidi's at work. That don't seem to ever change. She's working quite a bit. She's got a little bit of a health problem. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I do know and I don't know. We'll talk about that at a later time. I don't know if it'll be on this video, but we'll have to have Heidi on the video for that. So I'm going to flip you guys around. Now, the other day, whenever that video was left you guys hanging, it was about this car, you know, and I showed it being towed away. It was nothing more than the starter. And again, it's because this car has sat for so long, so long, that little things happen to cars whenever they sit. And of course, this is no exception to that rule. So we had a lot of work done. We had it towed to the guy's shop. We knew we were going to have him do a bunch of work on this. We knew it needed struts when we first got it. It just felt, you know, sloppy. Same with the some of the other suspension components, which I'll talk about in a second here. And since the starter failed, it just kind of kicked our butts into gear, saying, hey, okay, let's go get this thing looked at now. So what did he do? He did replace the starter. And this was after we replaced the battery. The battery was, I think, a 2017 battery. Again, the thing's just been sitting. So we replaced the starter. And I don't know if he changed oil on this. I can't remember if the oil needed changed or not. It's pretty clean. But again, if it's been sitting for, I swear it's been sitting for over a year with some of the stuff that's gone on here. He went ahead and changed the plugs and the wires. They were original 2002. To do the back plugs, it's best to pull the intake. So he had to put a new intake gasket, or get a new intake gasket to do that. The air filter was already clean. I don't think we changed the cabin filter though. We got to look at that. So while he also had the car, he did the front struts and springs. You know, it's a set. And then he did the rear shocks. Also, he did new steering tie rod ends. He also did sway bar bushings on the front and sway bar end links on the front. He also did sway bar end links and sway bar bushings on the rear. Also, all new brake pads all the way around. Now, if you guys don't know, the only way you can get four-wheel disc brakes is on these cars is if you have a wagon. Well, obviously we have a wagon, so we have four-wheel disc brakes. We had one caliper that was a little boogered up to where it was wanting to hang up. So we replaced one caliper, again, to all the pads and all the rotors, and, you know, redid the bearings and everything. So all new rotors, all new brake pads, that's good to go. After he did all this work, which I know I'm forgetting something, but after he did all this work, we then decided to address a problem that we had, that it would surge whenever it was accelerating. And I'm talking about hard. You had to accelerate it really hard and it would surge. Well, there's a sensor, let me think, it's not really a sensor, it's a synchronizer that goes down in and connects to the camshaft, and it tells the coil pack when to fire. It's kind of like a distributor replacement. Those are notorious for going bad, and they usually go bad after about 80,000 miles. Well, this has 90,000. So that needs replaced, which is on the floorboard of the car. We're going to give the car back to him to do that repair, probably tomorrow. And then we also went, since he did all the suspension work and everything, we got a four-wheel alignment. But at the same time, we did what we always do, and we went out and got Michelin tires. I love Michelin tires. They're defenders on the wagon here. Guess what's on this car? When we left Florida, before we left Florida and brought the car up to our son, we put Michelins on there, and they still look exceptional. They are 80,000 mile tires. If you guys been watching us for a while, you know that our 1997 F-250, I had Michelin defenders on it. They were LTX. They were light truck tires. They looked like brand new whenever we sold the truck. Prior to that, I had a 95 F-150, and same tires on that. They looked like new when we sold the truck. And our son's van, the E-150, the camper van that we basically built, had those same Michelin tires on them. They're just great tires. They if you look at their rankings, like on Tire Rack, you'll see why. They're just great tires, and quiet, really quiet. That's the best part. So new tires, all those new components, and then, because again, you know, when cars set, we gotta work through all this. And the best part about this is we're not making any kind of a payment. After we get all these repairs done, the car's going to be good for years, and we don't have to worry about making a monthly payment. And our insurance is relatively low too, compared to, you know, insuring a $30,000 car or $25,000 car. It's a lot easier to insure something like this, and a lot cheaper. So Heidi picked up the car, drove it to work. I'm sorry, I drove it home when we got it from the shop. She drove it to work the next day, and before she left work, she goes, "Hey," she goes, "the power steering's making some noise." Now, again, the mechanic works for her that did all this work on the car. He's ASC certified. He only works on the weekends, and he has a garage that he works during the week working on cars. So he just happened to be working when she had this problem with the car, and he came out and he goes, "Yeah, it sounds like the power steering." And it is. The power steering pump is just whining. Now, it could be a rack and pinion. It could be that the pump is failing. I mean, it's really hard to tell, but nonetheless, it's making a lot of noise. So we have a couple more things to address. We have that cam synchronizer that needs to be done, and we have the power steering issue to be fixed there. Yeah, the car's not perfect, but it's ours. All right, one more thing I want to show you. Let's go out to the road. I'll take a quick shot of this so you guys know. So for you guys that want to know who did our roof, they came by finally and put up a sign for us. So there you go. Yoder Brothers Builders. The brothers that came out and worked on our roof was Enos and his brother Steven, or Steve. Might have to do, let's see, it says roof, decks, and more. Maybe we can get them to do our fence. Maybe we can get them to redo those steps. They look horrible. I hate those steps. Heidi hates those steps. I mean, they look better than what we had, but I hate them. Coming back here, we have the same disaster as always. And we found a quote from a company we forgot sent it to us. Might have to go with them because they were going to do a couple things for us. I've got cages out here to catch raccoons. It's just a constant struggle. I am so fed up with it. I really am. I don't get it. I mean, we're in the city. I'm like that makes a difference. Apparently, must be worse in the city. I do have a review that I have to do on this here. So the rack that we have a video to do on, another review, is one that we did a review on initially in Vero Beach when we had our fifth wheel, and it held 2 electric bikes. It's from a company called Hyperracks, and both electric bikes it's rated for, so it's like 80 pounds a piece, so 160, 170 pounds is what the rack can handle. We liked it, but and it folded up. That was kind of a cool thing. But we already had that rack on the back of our fifth wheel that we optioned in when we ordered the fifth wheel. The whole thing then after that was, if you remember when we got here, Hyperrack sent me that one that's called a lift. And the lift models, they have a ramp that comes out that you drive your bike on, and then it pivots, and you park your bike, you hook it up, and then you slide the ramp in, put a pin in, and it's a built-in ramp. It's always there, and it, like I said, it pivots, so you can just roll the bike up onto your rack. For you guys that can't, lift it, which, at some point, hell, I was just talking about my back being bad the other day, and it was on the back of the truck. I shot a video on that, and I really liked it, but we just didn't transport our bikes that way because, we had a truck if we needed to do that, or a trailer if we really needed to do that. So now they sent us the lift model again to do a review on, but this one's a little bit different because maybe you don't need 2 bikes. Maybe you just transport one. There's a lot of people out there who's just hauling one bike, one electric bike, and that's what this rack is. So we'll do a review on that. But as far as you guys watching and wanting to see reviews, you don't have to. I don't have a problem with that at all. Not a big deal. If you don't want to see it, that's fine with me.
West toward Akron.
So Heidi and I decided we're going to go on a little road trip for ourselves. We're going to go visit our parents over in Hartville. Well, I haven't seen them for, when's the last time we even seen them? I can't remember either. So,
We've seen them since we moved back.
yeah, but so it was a party of some kind. Memorial Day?
Right.
I don't know either. Thought that we'd take this time though to talk about what I discussed about Heidi the other day. So Heidi's got a little bit of a health thing going on, and I'll let her describe it to you.
So I went to the doctor's last year, and when I had my blood work done, my A1C was 7. So that was fasting. So when I went to the doctor's this past Wednesday, I didn't take my A1C wasn't fasting, but I had ate like 6 hours prior, and my A1C was 10.5. I think, did I tell you that? 10.5 or 9.5.
It was up there.
It was high. Anyway, so I'm a type 2 diabetic. How fun is that? We both knew that we had needed to go on a diet for a long time. Well, this will really put you on a diet, especially when you got to take a pill. And I'm on metformin, but I took it yesterday, and I don't know if it's in my head or not, but I am less bulky. I've been feeling like crap for quite some time. Like probably years.
So the reason I'm shaking my head, we don't need to go on a diet because I haven't reached my goal yet.
Well, he's not on a diet. I ain't.
My goal is I need to make 300 pounds. I'm only 298. Yeah, we need to go on a diet. But yeah, Heidi's is
It's gonna be kind of hard. He's gonna probably eat a lot on his own because, like, when I get off work, I think that me eating so late. Well, maybe whenever I take the weight off, but my sugar is like 200 in the morning, and that's high.
So here's the thing that Heidi and I have a problem with, and I talk about it more than she does. You know, I've been overweight for a while, and holy cow, I hate to interrupt this news broadcast, but that is the third highway patrol we've seen since Heidi said, oh no, they're really out. Man, are they out. Okay, so the thing that I have a problem with is doctors, is basically doctors.
They're pill pushers.
So here's the thing. We're both overweight. We both need to go on diets, and it's been like that for a long time now. Yet when we go to the doctor says, hey, in my case, here's a pill for GERD. Then when I went back years later and they said, oh yeah, you've got your cholesterol's a little high, here's a pill for that. Yet I told them I need work on my weight. I need to work on my weight. And their best bet, that is the fourth state patrol that we've seen out here. Fourth in this short time that we started recording.
Project July.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll just pretend it's got a name. So now here in Heidi's case, she went in and they said, yeah, you know, your sugar, you got a problem with sugar. And what do? Here's a pill.
They don't discuss losing weight. They don't discuss eating better. They don't discuss diddly squat. I will have to say that because we're new to this area, my doctors suck.
Yeah.
I will work on finding another one, but I know how to work on not putting shit in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carbs.
Yeah. So anyways, we wanted to give you an update on Heidi's health and what's going on. And hopefully we can get this under control. And like I said, I only have 2 pounds to that 300 mark, but I may have to start it anyways.
Yeah, he wants to gain those 2 pounds, but I don't know how he's going to do it on vegetables.
Well, it was a beautiful day, and then we got all kinds of notifications that there's supposed to be some sort of storm kicking up here. And check it out. It don't look too good. Well, I'm not going to stay out here. I just come out to get the mail, and I thought I'd show you guys a little bit of weather. I figure I'd pick it up back here because it's really hot in this room. It's in the 80s. But with this breeze, I should be able to air this room out in no time at all with nice, cool weather. Oh, wow. It is so much colder outside now. I didn't realize how cold it felt. I've been inside, been messing around on the computer for you guys. It's amazing how much time is involved on the computer when it comes to editing videos. I'll tell you, that's one thing that I don't think, if I had to do it over again from the very beginning, I don't think that I would have never gone full time into my work being all on the computer all the time. Because, man, it's tough. It's a tough thing to sit at a computer all day long when you're not, that type of person. It's unhealthy. Well, we're still trying the camera out. I found that what goes on is whenever I shoot video in the super steady mode, it's grainy. Can you guys tell how grainy it is? And it says you need more light for super steady. So as we come out and expose into more light, the picture gets better. So again, it's a learning curve. Yeah, I'll show you why I'm coming out here, and I've got to flip you around. We've got a deliver here, Seeker S. I don't know what this is. I'll tell you what happens, and you guys are going to go, I don't know how possibly that could happen. Well, I get so many emails. I'm using my left hand, so it's not working so good. I get so many emails from people that say they want to do some sort of collaboration. Whew, wow. And then I don't hear from them. Whenever we come up with our terms and our agreement and that, sometimes they have problems with delivery. I don't know. There's all kinds of different reasons. And in this case, the email, it was lost. I mean, it was just lost. So I have no idea. But now I have 3 things I need to review. Heidi is home. She's off today too. She had to work on days that she don't normally, so she's off on days that she's not normally. But today is a normal day off. So we had a couple days back to back kind of for her to be off. I definitely have to clean up this. Like I said, these are power steering fluid marks that are in the driveway, and we dropped it off the mechanic, and I told him, I said, yeah, it's on the passenger side. I said, I not sure exactly what happened, and he came back with, yeah, whenever I installed the inner tie rod ends, you know, we had all that work done on it. He goes, those 22-year-old seals just didn't want to have anything to do with it. He said they're leaking at the seals. He said on both of them, actually, but one more than the other. And that makes a little bit of sense because there was a stain that was in a weird place a little bit further out in the driveway, a small one. And I couldn't figure out how, if it was on the passenger side, how it could have done that. But yeah, that makes sense. So we have him installing a new rack and pinion on the car. Heidi, I sent her a message and I said, hey, should we just throw some stop leak in there and see if we can get away with that? And she said, well, at this point, there's no reason for us to, you know, not stop it, you know, not go any further. She goes, I think, you know, we've already invested what we wanted into it, and might as well go ahead and do a little bit more. So the car is going to be pretty much bulletproof. It's a nice day out. It's just, like I said, a little bit too cloudy. Check this out, guys. It's always fun seeing them run around here, huh? The airport's not too far away, the Air Force Base, so we get a lot of that going on. All right, another day looks kind of cloudy, and well, bam! Oh man, I didn't know that was going to be here. Yeah, you guys see it. I'll do a review on this because I think that there is enough of us that are RVing that we might be looking for inexpensive mobility scooters. Most of you, though, probably have Medicare, Medicaid if you're to that point, or your insurance will take care of it and buy you a real, you know, deluxe one. But for people paying out of their pockets, I don't know. Stuff that we have out here, the plants, these buckets, they all need gathered up, and we have low spots in the yard from where you guys remember that pool deck when we moved in? We inherited a bunch of trash in the backyard. Well, there's low spots here. Man, when I hit them with that zero turn, when I'm moving at a pretty good clip, it really bounces me pretty hard here. So we have low spots that that dirt there, And then the dirt in all those buckets, except for the one, need to go. And it's kind of right in this area for the most part. Like, I just stepped in one. That's a pretty low spot there. And here's the other low spot right here. Yeah, it needs to be leveled out a little better. Of course, we need a lot more dirt than what those buckets offer, but that'll get us by, make it a little bit nicer. Actually, to tell you the truth, I could probably pour all that dirt right up against the house there too. It's kind of low where all those buckets are. It has been since we moved in. I don't know what's going on here, but I would like to see some sort of a barrier before I pour it up against the brick. But the drainage is pretty good here, so maybe I'll do that. These kind of rinsed out. There's some holes in them, but you guys, I want you to hazard a guess because we're not 100% sure. I have about 3 holes drilled in each one of these. I don't know if you can tell. It's down near the bottom there, and it's not a very good angle, but there's 3 holes down there. And the reason that I drilled those 3 holes was because Heidi had read something. She had squash in the buckets, and she said if they turn yellow, that means they're too wet. So, no surprise. I mean, the water was getting in there, so and not leaving. So I drilled those holes, and even with all those holes drilled and all the water drained out, 3 of her squash didn't make it. They just died. So I want you to hazard a guess. So here's some of the theories that I'm coming up with. First, I'll show you, filled that low spot. There was a low spot there, one there, still there. And then that hole I always trip over. I didn't get a chance to fill that one, but like always, no matter how much dirt you have, it's never enough. So here's my theories on it. First of all, maybe it got too wet initially and it just couldn't recover. Second, maybe with those 3 holes drilled, that still wasn't enough and there was too much water being retained. I doubt that, but it could. Maybe I should have drilled more holes all over it. Maybe the bucket didn't allow the roots to go deep enough. Maybe the bucket's being elevated up against this brick wall with the sun on them all the time. Maybe the soil, which could be some sort of a relief for the plant. Normally, soil underground, of course, is cooler. Maybe that wasn't the case, and this soil stayed too hot. Maybe we created too hot of a climate for squash. I don't know. Those are just things that we were talking about. Now, one other thing that we didn't discuss is these buckets. I don't know what they were. They said they were food grade, but we don't know. We don't know what were in them, and they're all matching buckets. Oh, I'm sorry. Out of 5 buckets, 1 survived, and even that it looks anemic. Go figure this out. We actually have Heidi home today. It's Sunday, so it's normally her day off, but hey, that really kind of leveled out pretty good. After I stomped it and then whatever.
Stomped it with your tamper?
Stomped it with my 2 tampers, my left and my right tamper. Heidi's out here doing some miraculous stuff. We're not going to open it though, because if you're looking, it's not cooking, especially on charcoal grill. But she has 2 full chickens in there, and she's doing some kind of special roasting or something. I don't know.
I'm cooking them indirect, smoking them.
Let's tell you about this. This is kind of dumb. We changed our eating habits, and let's talk about our eating habits before. We would eat out 5 times a week. Well, for dinner. For dinner.
Not always, but sometimes.
Okay, on average.
3 to 5.
3 to 5. 3 to 5 times a week in the evening, we would eat out for our dinner.
I would eat out.
For lunch, that's what I was going to next. For lunch, how many times, both of us, how many times during the week?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. So I Grubhub everything. Heidi's Grubhub some stuff. And we've eaten out a lot. We eat out a lot, and we always have Cokes, always. So Heidi, since she's had the whole diabetic thing, she's got on a pill, and the pill has started helping her control it. It's not Ozempic. I keep on telling her, go get that Ozempic stuff.
I'm on metformin.
She's on metformin, whatever that is.
I don't want to hear any negative stuff because any pill is crap.
Yeah. Let's
None of them
wonder what the negative aspect of not taking the pill is. Oh, that's right. Diabetes and high sugar and all that. So she's starting to learn how to control her sugar. And in the short amount of time that we've been doing this, so
a week,
one full week, Heidi has lost how much?
6 pounds.
And I've lost 9 pounds. 9 pounds. So isn't that amazing? Just changing your eating habits a little bit. And when I say we change our eating habits, there was one night that I ate a big bowl of ice cream with pineapple toppings and hard shell and whipped cream. I mean, I did. And then yesterday we had Mexican. But you know, whenever we have had Mexican in the past,
we didn't overeat.
We didn't overeat Mexican, but when we've had it in the past, we were on that diet. And for you guys that have been with us a long time, watching our channel a long time, when we had our old RV and our old truck, I went on a diet and I talked about it. We actually did a video about diets. And
actually, Mexican was our cheat day.
Yeah, that was our cheat day. And I had, I went down, I was 215 pounds. And I was at like 240 or something whenever I started the diet. So it's something that I did, and you know, it's like everything else. I could yo-yo again. We could lose a lot of weight and then yo-yo over. Now, Heidi, though,
I hope not to.
Yeah, and
I do notice one thing, because I didn't work for 3 years, and we didn't do any type of exercise, that I lost a lot of my muscle. So I'm not as strong, and I got flabby arms and stuff. So I do need to start some kind of little exercise. I'm not joining the gym.
I'll put you on that military exercise plan. Drop down, give me 20.
Nah.
I ain't talking girl push-ups. Get that butt down.
Doing some fast
Level out.
or something.
Go all the way down. Your nose better touch it. Diamond pattern.
Not in the military.
Halfway up. Do those sit-ups. Halfway up. All the way up.
No, thank you.
Halfway down. 1. Halfway up. All the way up.
No, thank you.
The side straddle hop. That's what it is. It's called the side straddle hop, also known as jumping jack. Apparently it didn't sound military enough. So steam engines. I'll make you do steam engines. Woo, they suck. And obviously you guys are all screaming, what about your big butt? Yeah, I know. I don't exercise. I mean, me moving around and stuff
is better than what you were doing.
Yeah, I was sitting in the chair a lot. So Heidi's out here cooking. I'm going to show you. We were doing reviews, and Heidi had a blast watching me ride around on this thing. It's I talked about it the other day. It's a mobility scooter, and it works. It works. It gets me around. This is so much fun. I can't wait to get one. I want one. I want a big one now. Heidi thinks this is funny, but I want a big one. Okay, you can adjust the speed when you're when you've got the throttle on, which is good. So if you're riding along and you're going real slow and somebody's passing you, you're like, I don't think so. You just turn this up and it'll take off for you. And it's pretty stable. I have to say that. I mean, it's taken me a little bit I can get it to rock a little bit, but Heidi thinks it's funny. Look at me ride this little scooter around.
I got it up on 3 wheels.
Did it was on 3 wheels? So wasn't that fun? We already got a review on a couple of things that I've already captured, but I haven't shot yet. I don't know when you're watching this, but hopefully those reviews are up by then. I've got to do this here, and I still have some more stuff coming. I have a lithium-ion battery coming, and I think that might be it. I don't know for sure. But it's a beautiful day. It's very warm out. What do you think it is? 88?
Yeah.
88, yeah. Which is perfect. We like that. And you can see no clouds today, really. Nothing at all.
Just barely a breeze.
And the best part is, look at our new fence. Oh, that's right. We still haven't fixed that fence. You guys all put in the comments, fix the fence already. We know. It's just a matter of this point in time, believe it or not, we allocated money elsewhere. So we've got to kind of regroup. Although we could pay for it. It's just we don't want to put ourselves in that position where we don't have our little safety net in case something happens. But the whole thing is the fence. We want it done, but I also want this done. I mean, we've got both cars sitting out there right now on the other side of the fence because I was back here shooting video. And yeah. So Heidi had gone out with our son. They were looking for bikes. That's what the bike rack was for. And they're coming up with a conclusion. There's not a lot out there. Went to Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart, which...
And a lot of, like, all the places that we stopped at, they didn't have... I mean, it is bike season, you know, for kids and stuff. But a lot of them were empty. And then all they had left is these $800 bikes.
Nope. It's just for... recreation. Our son, you know, he leads a very healthy lifestyle. He walks a lot. He goes to the parks a lot. Of course, he's a vegan. He's been a vegan for
Over 10 years.
Yeah. He hydrates. He's very cautious about all that stuff. Now, with that said, if I could get him to stop smoking, which somebody who's kind of into health that much, you would think he don't smoke that much.
Yeah.
He's cut back. Yeah, he cut back quite a bit. But yeah, I told him the very first day that he smoked cigarettes. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a habit you will never drop. So our goal, talking about habits and stuff like that, my goal, and this is going to sound really stupid, and Heidi will laugh about it, my goal is to lose enough weight that I don't have to take my GERD pill, and that my trips to the bathroom are less. Because it seems like middle of the night, I'm getting up, going to the bathroom a few times, and I know that's a thing of getting old.
I was doing like 4 times a night. And I'm a little less now, but then I was drinking like 6.5 cups of water, and then I read somewhere else that I need 11.5 cups.
So the other thing that I want to be able to do is I want to be able to drink again. Oh my God, I miss it. I really miss going out and having a good time and drinking. And Heidi having to drive around this stupid drunk guy that's got her running all over the Tar Nation. But yeah, I'd like to get a little bit healthier for that reason. More importantly, I'd like to quit taking my GERD pill.
And I'd like to quit taking metformin.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So what do you have to say to the viewers on your day off? And let's talk about RVing.
You know, I wish we were RVing.
We've been looking at, let's be honest. We've been looking at RVs.
Yeah.
We've been looking at fifth wheels. We've been looking at travel trailers. We've been looking at motorhomes. We've been looking at mobile home parks. We've been looking at permanent campsites. We've been looking at homes in the area. We've been looking at homes down south. We've pretty much looked at everything. We still haven't decided anything, though. No. So you could hear that's a pretty wide variety of choices. I don't know. We don't have any idea, and that's kind of fun. There's some aspect of that is fun. So we'll just continue to stay what we're doing now, and as long as we're comfortable with it, we're all right. All right, well, everybody say goodbye to Heidi. Type in the comments the best low carb, no sugar, diabetic meals and snacks that you've come across. We don't care if we have to buy them in a bag or create them on a pan in the oven, whatever. Heidi's up for it. So everybody put that down in the comments, and we're going to get some of this food in our bellies. So I guess that's all the maintenance they're gonna do on that wooded area. An old drive-by mow. How nice is that? I think I would have a heart attack if I actually seen a man walking something like a basset hound or a chihuahua or a poodle. Instead, having something like this walk him instead. Come on, guys. Don't be so insecure. Guess who's back? Back again. We got it back from the mechanic, but the alignment is way off because, of course, you placed a rack and pinion. So Heidi's got to take it into the shop to get the alignment done. However, we got another problem that surfaced on the way home, and the mechanic, he's a really nice guy. He said, he goes, it didn't do that on me. He goes, I didn't have that problem. He says, we'll have to get it back out here and go over it again to see if we can duplicate the problem. Well, I'm going to look myself to make sure that it's not something simple. Good morning, guys. We're going to try out another camera today. This one I've had for a while, but I thought I'd try it out anyways. I guess we're going to have some rain later, and it's a beautiful day. Let me go ahead and open up some Wandos here. Our son got himself a new bicycle. And it's kind of up against the window here. Good for him. Oh, the neighbor's out here doing something. Anyways, our neighbor's over there chatting away. We get along with our neighbor pretty good. It was his birthday recently. So, humid. You guys know how I love that. So like I said, I'm trying out a new camera, so I may not get all the angles that I want. Wow, I can't believe I mowed the lawn. That looks bad again. I do need to get these buckets in eventually. They're just killing the grass. They got a little water in them. I think I can deal with that. Maybe, let's go ahead and lay them over, and I don't know. Heidi bought a bunch of these. We drove by the guy's place. It's kind of like an honor system. Who was it? Home Depot. Or no, Harbor Freight. I knew it started with an H. Harbor Freight, they give away a bucket whenever you have a certain discount or, you know, some kind of program that's available that gives a little extra. Look at the disaster in here. I want everybody to tell me, clean up your garage. Holy cow. I've come out here to start preparing to do some more reviews. I've already completed a review on, I've already filmed a review on the mobility scooter. I haven't posted it yet. I already completed a review or filmed the review on this bike. I haven't posted that yet. You guys should have already seen this though, probably by the time this video goes up. But yeah, this is a mess. It's definitely a mess. So today it's this one, which I got to do a review on. Which great brand. We have not. Let me see how to say this so I don't offend all the other bicycles. So don't listen, bicycles. You guys don't listen. I think that this is the highest quality brand that we've reviewed. Yeah, I mean, the thing is there's so many that are close to this, and I don't know how to say it. I honestly don't know how to say it, because we have had other brands that their quality might have been close to this one, but their engineering is just a little off. Then we have other ones that have a lot more features that are really unique and offer more, but the quality might be a little bit less, or again, the engineering might be slightly less. So Velotric, what we found with them is their quality is really good. Their customer service is really good. Their offerings are really good. However, they don't get into the unique category too much, to the point where you go, wow, I've never seen that on that type of bike before. But they do try to offer something that's above and beyond what's out there. So again, I'm not trying to downplay any of the other ones. They all have their own, things. It's just like automobiles. For example, our Kia compared to a Honda HRV. That's a good comparison. The Honda HRV is a little bit bigger tires. I think it's a better vehicle all the way around overall, but it's also more expensive. Our Kia, we have a Seltos. The options we have on the thing are really good. It's got the, let go of the steering wheel and it drives itself feature, and it's got all this backup camera stuff and blind spot notifications, and there's a lot of things that it offers that is amazing for the price that it's being sold at. So same with these bikes. Getting off topic totally. Same with these bikes. So Heidi's at work. Bad news on the front there. Let me turn it around, show you some weather, so you don't have to see me talking about this whenever I'm talking about this bad news. My allergies are really kicking up. Oy. So what's the bad news on the front? Hey, poor Heidi. She worked open to close yesterday. That was a 14-hour shift because she basically had a no call, no show for 2 days. And that pretty much means she's doing the work of her shift, and then whoever is gone, their shift. Now she has one guy that gave a 2 weeks notice that she thought she had covered with this new guy. Well, that didn't work. And then she has another guy that's leaving, or has already left, I'm not sure. But all this means to her is that she's got a lot of extra work she's got to do, and that sucks. I'm coming back here just to peek over the fence to see what the lawn looks like. I need to put a block back here so I can step up on the block instead of trying to peek over the fence. The grass looks okay. It can go. I need to do the ditch though. Man, the ditch is out of control there. So we've been under varmint control again. I'm not going to talk about that because people are sensitive about that stuff. But I'm going to tell you that, man, it's just nonstop. There's a lot of wildlife that comes through here. The house is staying really nice and cool, more than it ever has. I can't even tell what the temperatures are, daytime temperatures being inside the house, and that's something that we could never do before. For example, if it was going to be a 90-degree day, like today, it's going to be 90, 92, 93, something like that. We would have to jumpstart the house, let's say it that way, meaning that even though the house was nice and cool in the morning, we would have to continue to run the air pretty heavily to continue to maintain that cool temperature whenever it got warmer in the day, meaning that before we had the roof vents redone on this new metal roof, and for the gables, well, it's not gables, and for the dormer rooms, that's it, for the dormer style roofs, before we had those vents, in addition to that poor vent that we had up there before, which is now corrected, and we have this metal roof with, there is an air gap there. I'm surprised because it is definitely staying cooler in the house. Now, we still have no insulation in the roof. So if you go into any of the attic space that you can access, it's just rafters. You see the underside of the boards that the shingles are nailed to. You also can see or feel on the roof, or the ceiling, I should say, of these rooms that you don't have attic access to, but the attic is on the other side of it, relatively close. It's warm. Those those things get warm, but it's cooled off. We still need to get insulation in there. That's too hard to get to whenever you've got a house that has a finished, basically a finished attic, all except in one spot. So it's kind of hard to do that. All right, I'm thinking that's boring, you guys. Let me get my son's car moved. Let me get my canopy out here, and I got to shoot reviews. And let me know what you think about this camera. Is it a little bit better? What I'm finding out is the further out that I was filming with my old Sony Action Cam, I think the focus is out, and I don't want to disassemble that whole camera to try to readjust that focus, because it has some crazy stabilization built into it that I don't want to mess with. So again, let me know. Well, this was going to be an update today on what's happening. Oh, look at that water out there just shooting out the downspout. Man, that's crazy. Of course, I'm losing water over the gutters. But look at the water, how it's coming off that roof, around the water that's coming off the roof. I get it. But out there on the garage, let me see if I can focus in on that. It's a little bit harder for me to focus in out there. But isn't that crazy? I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. So we have some kind of severe thunderstorm watch or warning or something going on. And the station wagon's home. So I'll tell you what's going on with that. I'll go back into the house. I'm still in my pajamas because I've been editing video for you guys, and I want to finish out this video so we can post it. But yeah, the wagon's back, and I can see by my trap that's out there that Rocky number, I don't know, 12, maybe 11, 12 might be in the trap now. And here's the crazy thing. The trap wasn't even baited. We got the car back. You just seen out there. We got some storms going on of some kind. I don't know what's happening there. But I wanted to give you the lowdown. Heidi's at work. I think she's off tomorrow, though. She's been working a lot, but I think she's off tomorrow. She's been working the schedule pretty well that she might get ahead here, hopefully. But I wanted to close out this video. I'm in the middle of I'm at the end of editing, and I need to close this out. Even though it's an hour and 20-some minutes, I'll try to keep this short at this point. So what happened with the car? Originally, we had a miss in the car that when you accelerated real hard, it would stutter at the high end. We knew it wasn't fuel related, And I'm having this guy work on the car, even though I'm a mechanic and I can work on stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff that I just don't have tools for, and I get frustrated when it comes to that. And honestly, there's a lot of stuff I can't do necessarily anymore, in one fell swoop, meaning I couldn't, replace all the front end components on the car in one day necessarily, especially working with jacks and jack stands, which I don't have either of those. I just went out and bought car ramps the other day. So, that's why I went to the mechanic for all that stuff. And whenever he said, "Hey, there's a synchronizer problem," I thought, you know what, he can replace that. I'm fine with that. He's already got the car. Might as well do it. Which the cam synchronizer, if you guys don't know, is basically what replaced the distributor when you go to coil packs. It distributes the spark to the cylinders. So when he replaced that, because it was war, he dropped it in, and he must have dropped it in where it was off one tooth, or when you got to be very careful when you do that stuff. I mean, I've done lots of distributors, 20 times I've done distributors, because every time you replace a cam in a car, you got to, change. And even then you're just adjusting timing and going to different types of distributors and different types of spark delivery systems. So I've done it. I remember one car, I went through 5 different camshafts. So I had that in at least 5 different times and out, on one car. So it's the same with this synchronizer, because the synchronizer replaces the distributor, and it actually goes into a hole in the block that actually looks like what a distributor would go into, which maybe it did. I mean, it's a 3-liter engine. I don't know how long those 3 liters were around, but I mean, they could have been in, Ford Rangers prior to fuel injection and everything.
I don't know. I really don't know. But that's what it looked like. It looked like a distributor port. So when you drop it in, you have to make sure that your timing's correct. And as you're lowering in your synchronizer or distributor, the teeth that they mesh, the synchronizer has teeth cut one way that are at an angle, and then the camshaft have teeth that are cut a certain way. And as you're lowering it down, it twists. The actual pointer that does the spark indicating, it twists as you're lowering it. So you've got to make sure that everything's lined up perfect. Well, when we picked up the car, that miss that was going on was now in a different area of the car. And he took it for a test drive. He said, oh, it runs great. There's no problems. But if you accelerated a certain way, kind of like if you were trying to get ahead of traffic that was next to you through the city, you guys were side by side and you're like, I just want to get around this guy. And you didn't push it so hard to kick it down a gear, but you pushed it enough to just kind of, give it a little grunt to go. That's where it would miss between 2,000 and 3,000 RPMs. It felt like an ignition problem right away. So that's when I popped the hood of the car the other day, and I just looked at everything underneath the hood to make sure that something wasn't unplugged, a sensor wire wasn't broke or something. And I didn't see anything. So that's why we brought it back out to him. And he apologized. He says, he was embarrassed that it was doing that when we picked it up. And he said, he says that the timing was off by 4 degrees, which that'll do it. Because the computer can only compensate so much, and then it just gives up. And that's what was happening around 2,400 RPMs, somewhere in that range, all the way up to 3,000 RPMs. So we brought it back out there. He retimed it. He put it, fixed it. And then there was a leak, which just, again, the car has sat so long. There was a power steering leak. And he said he thinks he's got that fixed. He goes, if it starts to leak again, though, that we would probably need a new power steering pump, which, eventually, maybe. Again, cars sitting for a long period of time. All these seals, all these gaskets and everything, they're not getting splashed. They're not getting heat cycled. They're not getting, lubricated. They're not, it causes havoc on cars for them to sit without running them or driving them. So whenever he got done with the power steering pump, the little fix that he did there, he went ahead and degreased the engine and he pressure washed or power washed the engine bay. A little bit of a problem there. I think that he might have potentially blew the grease out, or it lost the grease, or it exaggerated the grease, or water got in. I don't know. Just pick any of those. Because when we picked up the car and we started it up, immediately it was going chirp, 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 chirp. And Heidi had stayed there and waited until I started the car up. And she rolled down her window. She goes, oh yeah, he said something about that the belt is, he pressure washed underneath there and everything's wet, but that should go away. And I thought, I don't know. This don't sound like a belt issue, because if you rev the car and go vroom, vroom, when you have a belt squeal, the belt squeal changes. It changes in a way that you can only hear it. It kind of diminishes a little bit. And usually what happens is it heats up and it dries out and it quits squeaking, or it gets worse, one or the other. This noise stayed linear to the RPM range across the entire RPM range. So the squeak's going cheep, 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 cheep. And as you accelerate, it's cheep, 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 cheep. That's some funny looking sounds, ain't it? Found it. But it would say the same regardless. It was almost exactly in coordination with whatever I was doing with the throttle. And a belt doesn't do that. A belt, it changes a little bit. And I told her, I said, I don't think that's a belt noise. And she goes, yeah. Now Heidi's been been around me for a long time, and she knows car parts and stuff. And she goes, yeah. She goes, it doesn't sound like a belt. She's had cars that had belts that have made noise. I remember when we first started dating, this little guy teased her about her tempo that she had because she needed a new belt on the car. And the guy, she pulled into a car dealership, and the guy heard her car running, and he come out, he goes, should I go get you some bird feed for that little birdie you got underneath the hood going chirp, chirp, chirp? I think she was a little embarrassed by it, or I don't know. Maybe she wasn't. But nonetheless, she says, yeah, that don't sound like a belt chirp. And I was thinking, yeah, it's not a belt chirp. It didn't sound like a belt chirp to me either. So when we came home, you see how it is. It's nose first. Usually we back in. And I popped the hood and got out my stethoscope. And as you give it a little gas on the car, the chirp gets louder. So I got the stethoscope out. I checked the alternator right where the pulley, where the shaft goes into the housing. That wasn't it. It wasn't, the sound wasn't dominant there. And then I went to the upper idler. The upper idler pulley. Put it on the bolt that holds that on. Again, nothing there. So then went to the power steering pump, where the housing allowed, behind the pulley as close as I could get. Again, I didn't do it there. So then I went to the tensioner pulley and put it on the bolt head that holds the tensioner pulley onto the tensioner. And it was immediate. I mean, you could hear it. So I told Heidi to go ahead and get me a new belt, since I'm going to be messing around with that anyways. And might as well get a whole new tensioner. And she said, yeah, she goes, everybody buys tensioners, not just the pulleys. Because the tensioner could actually be bad. If the bearing seized up on the pulley, it could actually spin on the tensioner mount and it'd be all galled and everything and no good. I haven't really paid attention to auto part prices. Heidi's been telling me that some of these parts are getting really expensive. But back in, it doesn't seem that long ago, back when the channel first started, I was replacing ball joints and tie rod ends and sway bar bushings and coil springs and all kinds of stuff on my trucks. And, and rotors and brakes. I kind of knew. I've been around that stuff for a long time. But wow, this car is nothing special. It's right middle of the road. And I couldn't believe it. The belt is, I don't know, like $40 some. I remember you get belts for like 20, 21. I think the belt might be even closer to $50 that she's got. And then the tensioner, you would get those for about $43. It's $80 for a tensioner. Oh my word. I can't believe that. So anyways, it's raining out real bad as the sun shines. Go figure that out. We have all kinds of storm warnings that are in effect until I think tomorrow morning. It's on and off here, but this is it. Again, we'll let this video end on the notes that I have given you among an hour and 26 minutes plus 11:30 here. And hopefully you guys are all doing well. Stay tuned for the next one. I've got, for you guys that like to watch our reviews, I have 2 more electric bikes that are en route. And I have a few other things that may or may not be en route. I get a lot of you guys that whenever we're doing videos and we're doing reviews, I've had a lot of people, oh, you guys so lucky, you get all this stuff. At first I thought that exact same thing. Man, this is awesome. I've actually get a product that's sent to me and I get to keep it. But I'm telling you, the interaction that you have with these companies and how everything is just a process. And then all the work that's involved with it. I mean, it's like that folding bike that I just, showed you guys. I did a review on and posted it by the time this video's up. And I was so relieved just to open the box and go, PTL. I just get to put the handlebars in the stem, and that's it. Make sure the tires got air in them. I don't have to put fenders on and racks on and front tires on and front fenders on and headlights on and tail lights on and whatever else they can come up with. But I'm grateful that I can bring that stuff to you guys. If you haven't checked out our reviews, just go to our playlist.
If you're, thinking about electric bikes, I pretty much covered a lot. I mean, I've covered a lot of them. And all these bikes that we review, I don't think there was ever one that I said, forget it. This is just not worth it. I think we had one that was sent to us, and I told them that I'm not going to review it. And they just said, keep it, which that should tell you what kind of company it is. Oh, okay, well, we understand. But a lot of these companies, I mean, all of these offerings have something to give as a product that we do reviews on. Some of them more than others, but if it's junk, you've never seen it. You've never seen it on the channel. I've never done a review on it. And your mileage may vary. You may get something that just doesn't work for you for whatever reason, and it was perfect for us. That happens. I mean, that's why you get people that say, oh, Fords are junk. That's the only reason I'd ever drive a Chevy. I just drive Chevys. And you get guys that say Dodges are junk. That's why, I only drive Fords. It's just your own preference and what you have experienced personally. That's it. Long enough. As always, guys, we hope to see you out there. Not in this storm, but out there. Somewhere nice. Just picture somewhere really nice. And believe it, me and Heidi are feeling it, because the other day we were watching a video and this guy was doing lawn care, and he was doing a talking point sitting in an area that was wooded and it had dirt. And I told her, I said, what's that remind you of? And she goes, Lock 30. Lock 30 was a campground. It's no longer a campground, but it was a campground we went to a few times. And I said, yeah. I said, boy, I really miss it. So we're feeling it. We've got the fever for that, but things just aren't necessarily lined up for that right now. You guys are doing it for us, though. Keep on, keep it on, and eventually you'll see us with an RV and us RVing again. We just want to make sure we get something that we're comfortable with. Bye.